Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to a new video. So in this video, for the people of you who have seen my previous video, I mentioned that I'm going to do a head-to-head comparison between the Starseeker Edge and the Varia VS3, since both grinders are single dose and probably in the same price bracket. So it's a good thing for people to see them next to each other, how they look, how they perform, how they sound, and how the grind range is different or similar between both of them. So let's start by giving a quick intro about each one of them. So both of the grinders, so for example, if we look at the Starseeker Edge, it has a 48 millimeters burr. That burr has 7 cores, and it has a conical burr, of course. The other grinder is also the same, 7 core burr, conical, and 48 millimeters. So both of them is exactly the same in that matter. They have mostly same, I would say, same manufacturing style, like the same lid. Even the size of the lid is the same. It can work on each other the same way. See, the same size of the lids, the same magnet, the same manufacturing is mostly in all the parts about both the grinders. So you cannot tell me which one is for which grinder right now, because both of them are exactly the same. They have magnets here. They have the same like I would say anti-popcorning rubber thing inside. So they also have this rubber thing inside both of them to act as an anti-popcorning device. So that's also there in the Edge. Same size also, so you can just get from here and put there. As I showed you the burrs in the last video, both the burrs look very similar to each other. So I believe even the burrs are interchangeable. I'm not sure, I didn't try that because the burr carrier is different here, that has four angles, but the Edge has only 3. So this is something different about both of them, because they definitely have to put some like differences between both of them. But in the end, the core of the grinders, I believe it's the same. So they mostly have the same RPM, 140 versus 128, we can say 130, same motor, same everything. Even the adapter of both the grinders is just the same, has the same thing exactly, same wattage, same voltage, even the same writing on the back side. Okay, so that is about how they look from the outside. They come with mostly the same accessories as well, the same bellow. Even the bellow so the bellow of the Edge can work normally on the Varia, and the opposite, the bellow of the Varia can work normally on the Edge, because both of them are exactly the same size. So the same size of the collar, same size of the lid, so they work perfectly the same way. Some of the differences between them is definitely how they look, because the Varia looks like a little bit slanting like that, as you see, has kind of a sleek look like that, while the Edge is just standing in place vertically. And they mentioned that they are inspired by one of the statues I think in Thailand or something like that. In one of the countries there is a statue that looks like this, so they got inspired by the statue, so they built the grinder to look like that statue. This is why they make it just like that. So the cup here is magnetic, which is a good thing in the Varia, so you never miss it. When you put it, it will always go to its place exactly. However, the cup is smaller than 58, so it's just as you see in the camera here, it's like 51 or 52 maybe millimeters only, and it doesn't have a ridge or something. And the other cup of the Starseeker Edge, it's a 58 millimeters cup, so it goes inside the portafilter properly. It's not exactly 58, I would say it's like 55, 56, but it is bigger in the diameter of it than the cup of the Varia, as you see. It can also contain more coffee, so for the people who are grinding more coffee, I think this cup would be better than the other one. However, that cup doesn't have a magnet in the bottom, so it will not stick in place like the other one does. Okay, here comes one of the other differences between both of them, is that the chute here is fixed in place. You cannot move it, you cannot check under it. However, here you can always remove the chute. You can use it as a knocker if you want. I do that when I grind. So when you use the chute as a knocker, it's a good thing also. So when you take it out slowly and you put it back, it can help the grinder to remove the rest of or the remaining of the grinders. When you take it out completely, you can kind of have access to the bird chamber directly, so you can see what is going on inside the grinder. You can clean it with a brush. That's a good plus definitely for the Starseeker Edge. So that's about the external differences between both of them. Both of them have the same place for the button on the side, so it's here, but on the front side of the Varia, on the right side, but in the Edge it comes in the middle of the body, but also on the right side, the same side. So let's see how both of them sound. So this is how the Starseeker Edge sounds, and this is how the Varia sounds. So if we turn on both of them together, so I think that the Edge has a little bit higher sound than the Varia. So a little bit higher, maybe because of the body itself is not allowing the sound to be more quiet. I think this is the reason. And they have the same dial indicator also. So it has also the same magnets in it. Not sure if it's the same size. Let's check that and see. No, it has a difference here. So because of the design diameters of the Edge is different a little bit. So there is a ridge here, but that ridge is not there in the Varia. So you cannot interchange these between the two grinders, but both of them have the magnets, so they always point in the middle, so you always know where you are exactly without the need to print any kind of 3D prints. So let's do a quick grind comparison between both of them. So I will start, so the Edge starts from number 1, so it has from 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4 until you reach number 10, and then you go back to number 1. As you see here in front of the camera, this is how the grind numbers look like. So it starts from number 1, so there is no 0, it's just starting from 1, and then you go all the way cursor until you reach number 1 again, or number 10, and then you go back to 1. That's one full rotation, okay? But the Varia doesn't have a start point at 1, it starts from 0. So number 9 is the last point. Number 9 is the last point in the Varia color. So you go from number 9 up to number 0, and 0 is the starting point. Okay, so a 0 here equals 1 here. So we in the previous video we ground coffee at 0 in order to get fine enough for a lever machine. Then I'm not sure if we have to do the same with the Edge, but let's see if I go at, like, let's say number 3 at the Edge. This is 30 steps. I will compare the 3 in the Edge with number 1, which is 10 steps only. Well, actually, let's do 3 steps also in the Varia. So from 0, like that, this is the start point is 0. Okay, so we go 30 steps. So 0 to 1, that's 10, that's 2. 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 1 to 2, then 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so this is 30 steps, and we have to go up to 4 here in order to achieve 30 steps too. So both companies claim that you can have a big espresso range, something like 0 to 6. I believe none of them can go up to 0 to 6 for espresso, because most probably people grind near the 0 itself, not up to 6, which is 60 steps for espresso on a stepless conical grinder. I think this is not happening in both of them. But let's see at 30 steps on each grinder of them how the grind will look like, how the grinds will look like. And unfortunately, I don't have a groove sifter or something to analyze the particles like a particle analyzer or so. Maybe I'll have that in the future, but for now I don't have that, so I cannot compare it unless I just check it with my own senses, like my eyes and my fingers. So let's do that together and see how it looks. So we got back our lovely plate that we use it for all our experiments with grind settings. So let's try the Edge first. That is 30 steps from the 0 of the grinder, and let's see how the grinds will look like. So I will do it the same way. I don't need to check the staling, because it doesn't stale at 0, so it will not stale at 30 steps for sure. So I like to do that, just simple, gets all the grinds out. bit with a knock or two, and then you're good to go. So that's how the grinds look like. Let's keep them in the cup until we do the grinds also on the Varia. Maybe the Varia is a little bit faster, however it has a slower RPM with the same burst size. This is something weird a little bit. So I want to show you how both burrs look like when they work. We'll do that after we check the grinds. So let's check with the Starseeker Edge first. So this is how the coffee looks like at 30 steps on the Starseeker Edge. It is fine and nice. I hope that you can see it properly. I'm trying to show you also on my finger how it looks. Okay, it looks fine. Let's see the Varia's grind settings at 30 steps. Looks a bit coarser. Yeah, it is coarser. So at 30 steps, they look a bit similar, but the Varia has a little bit of a coarse settings. Yeah, it's coarser than the Edge, for sure it is coarser. So I expected that in the last video when I checked the grind settings of the Varia, that it doesn't have a big range like the Starseeker Edge when it comes to espresso settings. So for somebody who is drinking espresso, you might need to modify the Varia by adding a shim or two to achieve a finer range. If you're going for pour-overs only, or filter coffee in general, or other brewing methods, I think you wouldn't have any challenges at all. So let's see if we go finer than this, let's say at the starting point, or maybe last time we did 5 steps if I'm not mistaken. So let's 5 steps, let's do 10 steps here, and let's do 10 steps here, and see if the 10 steps are similar between both grinders or not. And before that, let me show you something. Let me show you how both burrs look like when they operate, so you can have a look at how fast or slow they look. Yeah, so the Varia looks slower. The Varia is slower for sure. Yeah, it is slower. And that's just by my eyes. I saw that the Varia looks slower in the video. Let's see the grind settings at 10 steps from the zero on each grinder. I think this will help us understand more about what we mean by having a good range on your grinder. So let's start with the edge, as we always do. So that is 10 steps only on the edge. 10 steps should be something very fine. So this is the closest to the camera. That's 10 steps. Yeah, this is very fine grinds. I think if I make espresso with this one, it will choke my machine. For sure it will. For sure it will choke my machine because it's kind of extra fine. So we're talking about these ones in front of the camera here. This is a very fine settings. We still have 10 more steps to go down if we want, but I think this is gonna choke my machine if I use it. My lever machine. So let's try the Varia's 10 steps that we tried in the last video and see how they look. So 10 steps on the Varia is not as fine as 10 steps on the Starseeker Edge. Unfortunately, the range is a little bit less, but this has a solution for sure, a very simple solution, to put a shim or two over the shim that is already there. And as long as you don't get the burrs to touch each other, you're fine. You still have range because both burrs are just the same. So I believe they should give the same grind quality and the same grind range. So that's about the grind settings between both of them. I will try to show you how the extraction looks like between both of them, and I'll include that in the video. So this is about the espresso range. Let's see when it comes to filter coffee. So I'll go like the other video I did. We'll do one full rotation. So I'll reach number 1 again, and here I'll reach number 0 again. That is 100 steps, which means 1000 microns. So clean the plate and then put the grinders and grind together and see. So let's see right now when we put some coffee beans in both grinders and grind for filter, how the grind quality will look like. So that's the edge. Let's start from the cold start this time. So I wish if I have a scale right now to grind the same weight and see how long they will take, but I feel that it doesn't matter a few seconds here or there, it doesn't make the big difference, even though I feel that the Varia grinds faster than the edge with a lower RPM, which is weird to me if they have the same burrs inside. But anyway, let's see how the grind quality will look like in the end, because this is what we look for. Yeah, see, this is done, but the other one is still grinding. So this is one full rotation on the edge. Feels a little bit fine to me, but let's see. That's how it looks. Yeah, it's fine for filter. Looks fine. I can also go coarser if I need. Let's see how the Varia performs at that against the edge. Looks similar a little bit to me, but the Varia is coarser. So the Varia feels coarser in my hand than the edge. So as I expected, this is due to the range that the edge has. It has more range than the Varia, so it is expected that when you go coarser on the Varia, you will achieve coarser settings than the edge on the same grind settings. So this proves my point that the Varia has less range for espresso. That's why on 10 steps, or 100 steps, it gives you coarser grind settings than the edge. So this is about the grind comparison between both of them. I think what matters to people, not all that. What matters might be how each one of them tastes against your favorite brew method. And this also goes to the main point, which is that everybody of us has his own senses and his own taste for coffee. So maybe that I like coffee that you don't like, and the opposite, maybe you like a specific type of coffee or a specific extraction that I don't like. It goes to everybody's preferences, but I will conclude that by saying that both grinders are capable of grinding for whatever brew method you're aiming to achieve or to do, and yet comes your own opinion on both of them, your own like or dislike about the design and the workflow or whatever specs they both have. So I hope that the video has given you some insight about both of them when you look at them head to head or next to each other. And I will put some espresso extractions for both of them to show you how each one of them looks like when it extracts. However, this is not anything but just to show you how I can make espresso with both of them. I think it's again up to everybody to say if he likes a cup of coffee or no, because it depends on your own personal taste. So thank you for now, and I will include the both extractions in the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next videos. Thank you so much. So to try to be consistent as much as possible, I'm going to use Everything just exactly the same. I'm going to use the force tamper and the Duomo D8 for distributing the coffee, and I'll use that is Colombian beans roasted on 29th of March, so a couple of weeks or a little bit more since roasting. And I'm going to use the D-Floyd microbalance scale. That's how the beans look like. Medium roast beans look very nice and they're very uniform. 18 grams for each shot. So 18 grams here and 18 grams here. And we'll weigh each cup before grinding and see the retention of each grinder as well. So that's 17.9 to 18, we can say. 18 here and 18 there. So let's keep that on the side now. Let's start grinding. I'll try to grind both grinders together. So let me get another cup to just pour the coffee. Yeah, so we can see how long will it take for each grinder to grind the coffee beans. Just a side note, the cup of the Varia weighs 18.6 grams. Because I like it when you know the size, I mean the weight of the cup. So if you forgot to tare it before grinding, you can still identify how much coffee do you have in the cup. So this has 18.6, while the Starseeker Edge has, I think, 90. Yeah, 89.8, so almost 90. So this is 80 and this is 90. Okay, so let's start grinding. I'll put, so let's actually use since we use the bellow here, let's put the bellow there as well. So we give it a fair comparison in grinding. So I'm trying to give it exactly the same shot. So each grinder should take the exact opportunity like the other one. But we didn't arrange the settings. So I'm saying that I'm going to use the settings of 0.5 here. So 0.5 is like 5 steps from the 0 point on the Varia. 5 steps from the 0 point on the Varia. While I'm going to use, I think I have to go coarser than that. Maybe something like, let's say, this is, the Varia has 5 steps. And for the Starseeker, let's do 10 steps. So starting point is 1, let's do 10. So let's do it number 2. So this is 10 steps. I think I have to go coarser, maybe, yeah, maybe 2.5. So this is 15 steps on the Starseeker Edge and only 5 steps on the Varia. Both grinders have 10 microns for each step, and both grinders have mostly the same burrs, the same settings, the same everything. But I believe that the Starseeker Edge has more range than the Varia. So this is going to be proven right now in my extraction that I'm going to do with you. So let's start both grinders at the same time and see how long will it take for each one to grind the coffee. So starting it now. Actually, the edge didn't start. I think I didn't turn it on. So we'll do one by one. So without RDT here, looks a little bit messy. So without RDT here, there's plenty of static. So plenty of static around the chute and around the coffee, around the grinder itself. Let me show you. This is how it looks without RDT. So I intended to do it without RDT to see how the grinder will perform without the moisture, the water spritz. So let's do the Starseeker edge. I believe it's not connected. Yeah, that's why it's not working. I didn't connect it. So let me connect it to the electrical port and see. So for some reason this Starseeker edge got disconnected. So I don't know why did this happen. And if some of you are asking what is this red strap that I'm adding, I just add it in order to make sure that the bellow holds tight in place. So it's just a normal strap. I put it on the collar of the grinder, so it looks like that. So that strap helps the bellow to stay in place. It fits very tight, and it looks like a nice touch as well. So it has like a red line on it. I like how it looks, so I keep it just like that. So it makes it a little bit fitting. So when you hit it, it doesn't fall. Okay, I think the Varia doesn't have this problem because it already it's just fitting in place. And there's one bean that didn't get ground, so good. Let's ground it. This is how the Varia looks like, and this is how the edge looks like without any RDT. It has a bit of a static also, but way manageable, and this is because the cup is bigger here, so it contains the 18 grams and there is plenty of space that you can use the bellow like that, or even take out the chute and knocking it this way. So even the coffee that was sticking to the chute is gone. Definitely I cannot do that here yet. I can just keep on knocking on the chute itself, or use the brush to take out the remaining of the coffee from the chute, or just spray my coffee before grinding it. I wanted to see how it performs without the spritz of the water, just to make sure that everything goes how it goes natively without anything. So this is how the grinds look like in the Varia. Yeah, it's fine. And that is how the edge looks like. It's also fine. So let's prepare the two shots and let's see how each one of them will look like. So before preparing the shots, let's do some math together because the scale got turned off. Let's see how much coffee is there in the cup here. So this cup should be 80.6. So let's say if it's 80 and this is 97, so probably it is the exact coffee that we put. And how about here? This should be 90, so should get 100 and yeah, 90 is 107. That is what I think. There is more coffee remaining inside, or that we didn't add 18 grams. So let's prepare the two shots and see. I didn't actually calculate the exact retention of each grinder, but we can do that later on. So let's do puck prep now. Start with Varia. Yeah. So I like that the cup of the Varia doesn't have any coffee to stick to it. I think some coffee sticks to the cup of the edge. That always happens when I grind in the cup. Maybe because the cup also is black from the inside, so this gives it a little bit of a static. And you can see even the dust of the coffee will always be showing. So this is the puck prep, very simple, and it should be very consistent between the two shots. I'll try to mimic the same extraction for both shots as well. So let's get the mirror to be showing you the extraction. I think you can see the extraction right now. So get the water. So I pour the water in the chamber of the machine. It takes up to 120 milliliters, but I found that when there's a nut inside it, like the one that holds the probe, the thermal probe. I think until that nut it's around 100 ml, and that's very sufficient for me to make a cup of espresso. So usually I don't go beyond that. I pour a little bit of hot water in the cup also, just to make sure it's hot and nice. And then I think it has to be just like that. Yeah, so I can have some space to move my hand with the lever. And I'll zero the scale, and I will start the timer just right now. Yeah, this is 2 bars, so I do 2 bars up to 10 seconds. Extraction looks very nice, and then I go all the way up to 8 bars, and I stay on 8 bars until I reach 30 ml in the cup, and then I go back to 6 bars and I end the shot. Extraction looks wonderful. Yeah, now it's 24, 25, 26, 30 ml, so I go back to 6 bars, and here we go. So 45 seconds extraction total, and the coffee looks wonderful. So this is how the coffee looks like. I like it so much, looks very nice and creamy. And this is the Varia's extraction. I like how the coffee looks like. We'll do the same with the other one right now. So let's put that cup on the side and let's do the other cup quickly. So this is the coffee that was ground by the Starseeker edge. So this is what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of coffee just on the internal walls of the cup. Little minimal quantity, not that much, but I always notice it. So this is kind of like 0.1 grams or so inside. That's how I do it. Take it out with a brush, and then WT with the Duomo, and first tamper, then the shot is ready to extract. This is the MHW3 bomber puck screen. So I just prepared everything, put the water inside the chamber. We're maintaining everything, 93 Celsius temperature, and I'm just waiting for the water to fill inside and go in the chamber. And let's do the extraction. So turning on the timer. Yeah, let's see. So 2 bars for 10 seconds, and then we go all the way up to 8 bars. And the extraction looks very yummy as well. And I'm achieving almost, I want to see if it's gonna end up at 45 seconds or more. Yeah, 6 bars at 41 seconds, 41 to 42 seconds. So 41 to 42 seconds, and this is how the extraction looks like. And that is at 15 steps at the Starseeker Edge versus 5 steps at the Varia VS3. So I think the grind range is as expected. It's higher and more on the edge than the Varia. Let's taste the coffee and see how each shot tastes like. So this is the Varia shot. Very balanced. This coffee has classic profile, so it has chocolate, nuts, dried fruits. There's a bit more acidity in the Varia shot, however it took longer time to extract. More acidic here than here. The taste is similar, but I find that there is a little bit of acidity here more than here. The notes are like visible. I can feel the notes of the coffee in both cups. But it's a little bit, so on the Starseeker, I would say it's a little bit bright. And on the Varia it's a little bit acidic, but not that big of a difference if you taste the cups blindly. Unfortunately, there is no one with me to help me with blind tasting. But I'm enjoying both cups. I'm enjoying both of the cups. Both of the cups are nice. Both of the grinders are nice. They are producing very similar results and very similar price bracket, and it's a very nice, I would say, nice comparison that I managed to get the two grinders together and see how they perform against each other. I know that this grinder is very famous in the world, but this one is not that famous, so not many people know about that brand or that kind of grinder. But it is really worth looking at, and I will see you in next comparisons and next videos on my channel. So I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next ones. Thanks.